It's 9 minutes away from 8 now at breakfast. The big bucks, all $700 million paid by Fairfax for auction site TradeMe, had the media in New Zealand in a bit of a flap this week. Well, it was such a shock. It is a real local boy does good story. But what does it mean in the long term when an Australian media company takes over this country's biggest website, a site that commands 60% of all of New Zealand's online traffic? For that and the Oscars, I'm joined by media commentators Wayne Hope and Irene Gardiner. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
What does it say about New Zealand? This is slightly off the topic, but what does it say about our glorious country that 60% of our internet usage is sort of buying old purses?
Well, I think that's a little unfair. I mean, there's message boards on this site. It's a community as well. I mean, TradeMe used to be like what you might call a very large flea market, where as well as buying and selling stuff, people met each other and communicated with each other. And it should never be forgotten that the monetary value of this site was built up by the 1.2 million users. And the Morgan family were essentially landlords who have sold out to bigger landlords.
Well, that now, and that, of course, is what Fairfax have bought, isn't it? I mean, they've bought the users that establish the worth of the site.
It's a very interesting one. I'm still gobsmacked by the amount of money they've spent. And, you know, commentators from business and IT who know more about this than me are totally divided on whether it's a panic buy and you know, an extraordinary amount, or whether it's buying for the future. It's certainly a no guts, no glory move by Fairfax. I think they could be perceived as a media company that has lagged in terms of its crossover into the internet, and this is their big grand catch-up thing, because obviously these two things are going to merge totally.
And it is a huge catch-up too, isn't it? I mean, 60% of the traffic. Fairfax have quite a considerable number of media holdings in the country already. People might be quite surprised.
70% of print magazines total.
Yeah, which is something in itself. But they also, of course, Stuff is their major,
which they can cross-merchandise and cross-promote on this site they now own. Fairfax really needed TradeMe because they wanted to make sure that ACP, Packer and APN O'Reilly didn't get the site. And also classifieds are migrating online everywhere, and so this is a common pattern. I mean, Rupert Murdoch, observers will note, is buying internet sites for quite the same reasons.
Well, and people might be interested to know that, because it's not, I mean, your full-page ad, yes, it'll attract you $13,000 for one ad or something like that, but actually there is a lot of money to be made out of classified advertising for newspapers, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think one danger, though, is that the very character of the site could change, because as I said earlier, the site was built up by its users. It was a kind of a community resource. Now other things could change, like TradeMe now has to meet Fairfax earning projections. And if that doesn't work out too good, then costs could go up for users. Instead of message boards between users, you're going to get a lot of promo and hype selling Stuff and other Fairfax products. And that turns it into a corporate site rather than a user site.
So what you're saying is they're going to have to be very careful they don't kill the goose that laid the golden egg.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, of course, now TradeMe is carrying a $700 million price tag, which it was never carrying under Morgan. Is he going to be able to keep the integrity of the site now that he's such a rich man?
I think that's the really interesting thing. I mean, yes, as part of the deal, he is staying there nominally, but how long is he staying there? You know, can he control it when he's part of such a huge thing? Because I do think a lot of its success and popularity has been, the essence of it has been that thing of it's, you know, the little guy's company set up here in New Zealand, and suddenly it's a big corporate thing. I mean, already on the message board there's people saying, I don't want to use it now because it's part of a big corporate thing. And yeah, whether he can
hopefully though the business is bigger than that. Well, Fairfax will hope it is.
I mean, what are they going to do now? To want to keep his influence.
Well, you would think so. They've paid a lot of money for it, haven't they? What will they do now? I mean, there was the Independent. Now there's TradeMe. I mean, is this part of a grander plan for Fairfax?
Well, it's pretty obvious. They just want to sew up the print market and the revenue sources that feed into that.
So what is that grander plan? I mean, are they going to have to start a daily in Auckland if they're going to?
Oh, no. The thing about buying TradeMe is it's very little capital cost. Once you buy it, one-up payment, that's it. Setting up a daily newspaper is a lot more expensive by comparison. All Fairfax want to do is control the revenue streams into their print holdings, and nowadays that also means controlling online revenue.
All right, very quick question about the Academy Awards. A couple of years ago, of course, we were all over the Academy Awards because we were up for so many, Little Country Does Good, etc. When do you pull away? Do you think we gave it too much coverage this time around?
I don't actually, because I think the fact that New Zealand won 3 Oscars is a significant story. I mean, it is a big international award, and it had pulled back a little. We were a little more blasé. Oh, we win these now, you know. But I still think it was appropriate to cover it to the extent we did.
I enjoy the Academy Awards because it provides a political indicator of where the Academy voters are at. And what's interesting is that although George Clooney saluted the Oscar voters for their liberal activism, quote unquote, there were limits, because you look at the documentary section, and the Enron documentary didn't win. Instead, what won was a documentary entitled March of the Penguins, which perhaps could describe Oscar
but
itself.
I saw the Enron documentary. It was so boring. That's only my personal view. I just couldn't.
Very
I just couldn't sit through it. Mind you, I'd have to say I couldn't sit through the Penguins either. Wayne Hope and Irene Gardiner, thank you very much for joining us.